All right, my first grade scientists, the first thing that you will need to get is a blank piece of paper. It is super important that this piece of paper doesn't have lines on it. Like, it's not going to be a piece of paper that comes out of a spiral notebook. It really does need to be a plain white piece of paper, because this is what we're going to put our moth on. And if there's lines on it, then it's not going to be camouflaged very well. So please pause the video now and go find a piece of white paper. The next thing you want to do is go around your house and try to find a surface that you would like to camouflage your moth into. So one of my choices might be my couch. And if I look really close, that would be the pattern that I would need to put on my moth. It's almost like a diamond pattern. That could be an option. Other choice could be this wall. The walls in my house are painted kind of a tan color. So I wonder if I could paint it tan, but also I would need to make it look bumpy like this. That one might be a little hard for me. I'm not sure I know how to do that. Maybe I'll pick something else. Another option might be my kitchen table. If I look really close, there's a bunch of wood grain on my kitchen table. I think I might be able to make a moth look just like that. That might be a good choice. So go around your house, pause the video now, go around your house and find the surface that you would like to put your moth on and camouflage into. Remember, you're going to have to draw this design on your moth. So make sure it's something that you know in your head how to design with the tools that you have. Can I color this table green with my pencils and my markers and my crayons? If your answer is no, then that's not the right surface. So make sure when you push play on the video that you have the surface picked in your head that you would like to camouflage your moth into. I have decided that I am going to try and camouflage my moth into my table here. The chairs on my table are the same kind of wood grain, so I can either hide my moth on the table or the chairs. I'm really going to try and hide it from everyone that comes in my house to see if they can tell where my moth is. So the first thing that I need is I went to get some of my supplies. First, I have my paper, of course, but also I went and I got my markers and I got my crayons, because I think I might need to use both, because I do have some lighter portions of my table and I have darker portions of my table. And I really want to make sure that I cover all of the white so that it blends in, because this piece of paper is definitely looking different than this table. This is going to be some work for me, my friends. Hopefully yours isn't as hard as mine. The first thing that we want to do is cut some test paper. And so what you're going to do is, it doesn't have to be perfect. I would say a piece of paper that's maybe as long as your thumb. So from your thumb to your knuckle here, we're just going to cut a piece of paper to color in, just to test different surfaces. So I would say get 2 or 3 different pieces of paper cut out. So I'm going to take my paper, like I said, about the length of my thumb, maybe even a little bit smaller, and maybe I'll just cut this whole end off, because really what I want is just some squares to test with, because I know as I'm starting to color I might be making some mistakes. So take the rest of your paper and put it to the side, because we'll cut our moth out of that later. So what I want to do is I want to start pulling out my crayons. And I want to look at my crayons and compare them to the table. What colors, I've got some broken ones in here, what colors sort of look like the table? Well, for sure I need this brown. I might even need like this tan color. I even have like this, well, that might be more red, but I'm just taking out any color. There's almost like even some orangey in the table. I'm trying to see if I have anything else. I probably will need my brown marker. So I'm just going to start testing. Let's say I want my moth to blend in right here. So this part right here is more tan, it seems like, with like black little lines. So what I want to do is I'm going to color in my test sheet. Oops. And you don't have to color in the whole thing, but you want to be sure you at least get to the edge. And let's go test it. Okay, does this color look like this color? Not really. Do I need to start over on a new test sheet? I'm thinking I just need to make it a little darker. I like the tan, but I think I just need to do a little darker. To get closer to that color. It's looking closer, my friends. So I know that I definitely need a mixture of lots and lots of colors. Oop, I don't know. Let's see. I think I messed that one up. I think that one's a little bit too dark or too red. So I'm going to use another tester. I think I was on a good start where I was doing the brown and the tan. So what I want you to do is do different color combinations until you can find something that seems like it's the same color. Go ahead and pause the video and test it. You can use all these pieces to test what's the right color combination to match your background that you're trying to blend into.
All right, my friends, here I am. I've done my best that I can do to try to blend this into the table. I did my lines on it and everything, and you know what? I'm feeling like I just can't get it camouflaged enough, and that's why I made so many different test strips over here. So I think I'm going to change my mind and put my moth somewhere else, and that is okay. So I think what I'm going to do is try to camouflage my moth into my couch. I feel like the colors that I have here are going to be able to camouflage into my couch easier, like a black and a dark gray, than trying to camouflage into my table. That's okay to make mistakes. Something else I wanted to show you is, I don't want to peel my crayons. If you want to peel your crayons, you can. But instead of using the tip, if you use a flat side, like mine's flat at the bottom here, kind of get a different effect or pattern. More of a flat side than if you use the tip. So if I change mine in different directions here, it kind of just looks like it's shaded in more, opposed to there being lines across it.
All right, my friends, as I come over to my couch, I want to test what I've done. I think it's getting close, but I can still really see it. So I think I have the right pattern, but I definitely need to make it darker. This is where markers might come in. Okay, so I started over on my piece. I did marker first this time, and then I did crayon over, and look, it is so close. I think I've got it. So you have two options here. If you want to just keep your test strip and call that your moth, you can. Or if you would like to cut out a moth and in the shape of a moth, we'll do that next, but then you would have to recolor it in. So if you just want to use this test strip and say that this is your moth, go ahead and do that. If not, we're going to cut out a moth next. All right, first graders. So a moth is pretty much just a triangle shape. Gotta get all my tools out of the way here. I would probably make your moth the same thing, about the size of your thumb. It doesn't have to be perfect. You want to make it sort of big. So I'll probably just take my scissors and go roop, roop. This is going to be my moth. Now, like I said before, you have two choices. If you want to recolor this in, here's the one that ended up working really well for me. I can color this in again to make it look like this color, or if I don't want to start over, you're more than welcome to use this as your moth. So The next steps of what I want everyone to do is color in your moth. Once your moth is done, or if you're going to use this as your moth, then you're going to go place it on the area that it's camouflaged into. So if I was using this as my moth, then I would go put it on my couch. I could either tape it to my couch. Maybe you want to tape it on the back or to the side, or you can just set it on the seat. Now here's the thing though, your moth cannot be hiding underneath something or behind something. It has to be in plain sight. That means if I go to the couch, I should be able to see my moth if I can tell where it's camouflaged. Now, it should be camouflaged in, but I shouldn't have to lift up the cushions or look underneath the couch or behind the couch. It has to be out in the open somewhere, but camouflaged in. So, the last step is finish your moth, take your moth and go put it on your spot that it's camouflaged into, and you're either going to take a picture or record your video of where your moth is, and I'd like to see if your teacher can find out where your moth is. So record your video and upload it on the slide, or take a picture and upload it on the slide, and hopefully your teacher can figure out where it is. All right, my friends, stay curious.